Kari Lake is making headlines again, but not because Trump named her his running mate, which we all know is what she's after. Nope, she's involved in a bribery scandal. Last we saw Kari Lake, she had lost her bid for Arizona governor, announced she was running for Senate, and it looked like she had moved into Mar-a-Lago. All the while, she's been a very loud election denier, and last month she ousted the chairman of the Arizona GOP by leaking audio of Jeff DeWitt bribing and threatening her to not run for Senate.
Tonight, the leader of Arizona's Republican Party resigning after a stunning new audio tape appeared to show him trying to convince a close Trump ally not to run for office.
I'll tell you what I can offer you.
The Arizona GOP's chairman, Jeff DeWitt, heard in this audio urging Kari Lake to not run for the U.S. Senate this year after she lost her race for governor there in 2022.
There are very powerful people who want to keep you out.
In exchange, DeWitt says he could hook her up with a lucrative job.
So the ask I got today from back east was, is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and give her to keep her out?
But DeWitt and Lake had a financial link via a tech startup called Superfeed Technologies. Both were employed at the company, with DeWitt serving as its CEO and Lake receiving over $100,000 from it. The company has since lost its authority to do business in Arizona. The company has issues with record keeping, though. For example, Lake used the company's app during her campaign, but she didn't disclose any payments until she was asked about it. The company's secrecy regarding its political disclosures is a red flag, to say the least. It raises questions and suspicion regarding who is behind the company and who is benefiting from it. Additionally, there are questions as to how and who from Superfeed makes its money, and there are concerns over the muddling of private and political enterprises. Clients of the company include Moms for America, the MyPillow guy Mike Lindell, and a Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA is believed within the GOP as having advocated for the ousting of RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel because McDaniel had said that Kirk was taking in donor money and personal user data via Superfeed that could have otherwise gone directly to the GOP. So it's about data and personal information. Turning Point says that Superfeed is just a vendor that they used, but the data collected is valuable to anyone even thinking about running a political campaign. Now let's get back to that leaked phone call between DeWitt and Lake. On the call, DeWitt says that people quote-unquote back east didn't want Lake to run for Senate and they were willing to pay her to lay low for a couple of years. Who exactly those people back east were is unclear, but DeWitt's resignation letter as chairman of the Arizona GOP suggested a link to Superfeed. On the recording, Lake can be heard saying that no amount of money, not even $1 billion, could convince her not to run for Senate because her reasons for running are bigger than money. Lake is currently running for Senate as a Republican, challenging the now independent candidate and incumbent Kyrsten Sinema for the seat. In the year prior to the recording, Lake took in over $100,000 from Superfeed as the company's communications director. Lake, by the way, is known for wearing microphones and secretly recording conversations. In other words, she knew that that conversation was being recorded and DeWitt did not, hence her whole shtick about the Senate campaign being about the country. DeWitt had also, according to him, stepped down from his role as CEO of Superfeed in January of 2023, but he still had financial ties to the company. But at the time he stepped down, Superfeed took on a new secretary-treasurer, Andrew Reeb. Reeb had worked with DeWitt at DeWitt's old investment firm, EchoTrade. Now, EchoTrade was dissolved 10 years prior to all of this in 2013 because it had to pay over $130,000 in fines for trade violations. Despite these financial difficulties with the SEC, DeWitt still managed to be elected state treasurer of Arizona in 2014, serve as chief financial officer at NASA after securing the endorsement from Trump, and then being made CEO of Superfeed. Throughout the life of Superfeed, financial disclosures have been sketchy, despite the fact that federal campaign expenditures are required to be disclosed. The paper trail is difficult to follow when it comes to state and private entities utilizing Superfeed. The company has very little publicly available information, and apart from Turning Point, the lack of filings makes it difficult to know how big the company is, who's benefiting from it, and where the money is coming from or going. With Kari Lake, she both paid money to Superfeed and was employed by Superfeed, and it appears that she was using the app and getting paid by the company while Superfeed was barred from doing business in the state of Arizona. So this is an interesting turn in the story of the Arizona GOP. That leaked phone call was a bit of a bombshell, but it was enough at the time for Lake to convince DeWitt to step down as chairman of the state GOP. Now there's a bit more insight as to what might have been going on behind the scenes after that. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out my podcast, Modern Context. Thanks.